Okay, let's jump into this deep dive. We're looking at Terabithia Reborn Dolls today.
Yeah, and we've got a stack of sources, customer reviews, product listings. It's quite a story.
It really is. So our mission basically is to figure out how these dolls, marketed with phrases like museum quality craftsmanship for what, $50 to $90,
Right, that price point.
how they can end up being described by buyers as, and I'm quoting here, scary looking in person,
Mm-hmm.
yet somehow they still manage average reviews like 4.7 stars. It doesn't quite add up.
No, it doesn't. And that's the central conflict. It really highlights the gap between heavily filtered online photos and, well, the actual product.
So classic digital bait and switch.
Totally. The listing photos show these absolutely flawless baby features,
Yeah.
super detailed, but what people get, it's just not that. It's all about setting up these unrealistic expectations through, like, intense photo filtering.
And the problems weren't subtle from what I read. People mentioned the look being actively wrong.
Yeah, jarringly wrong. It wasn't just, like, slightly off sculpting. The color itself was a huge complaint.
Oh.
People expected a natural baby skin tone, right? But they received dolls much darker, described often as dull gray purple color. Really off-putting.
Very purple. Wow.
And then there were the proportions. Often the head seemed noticeably smaller than the body. Gave it this uncanny, unsettling look.
And they claimed 24 inches.
Technically, yeah. But only if you measure the whole thing stretched out, leg tip to head top. Not exactly a natural pose.
Okay, so the visuals were deceptive. Let's talk about the actual materials and build quality. Did they match any of the fancy claims?
Not really. The deception wasn't just skin deep, so to speak. It was tactile, too.
How so?
The listings would say silicone reborn dolls. Big selling point. But what buyers got was silicone vinyl.
Which is just vinyl, basically.
Exactly. It's standard plastic.
Yeah.
People were expecting that soft, flexible, weighty feel of full silicone, something that moves realistically, good for therapy, uses maybe.
And instead they got stiff plastic limbs on a stuffed cloth body.
Precisely. A huge letdown, especially for those buying it for that specific feel, maybe for dementia therapy or something similar. And it caused issues with returns, too, if they bought it early for Christmas, say.
Right. And the actual assembly. Sounds like it was hit or miss.
Oh, completely. The sources say construction quality varies wildly. That's putting it mildly.
Like what specifically?
We saw reports of stuffing coming out almost immediately, rips appearing under the arms, legs near the neck, basically where the cheaper limbs attached to the cloth body.
Yikes.
And the hair. Oh, the hair was universally criticized.
Let me guess. Thin, streamy.
Thin, stringy, falling out right out of the box, frizzy, tangled. Yeah, definitely not museum quality.
Okay, wait. Gray purple skin, questionable proportions, stuffing falling out, terrible hair. How are these getting 4.7 stars on average? It makes no sense.
Well, that's actually the most interesting part, I think.
Go on.
It seems that while they fail, like, spectacularly as high-end collectibles.
Which they're marketed as.
Right. They actually work pretty well for certain functional purposes.
Ah, okay. So function over, like, artistic quality.
Exactly. We saw quite a few positive reviews from people using them specifically as therapy dolls, particularly for dementia patients.
Really? How does that work?
The weight, the soft cloth body, even if the vinyl parts aren't perfect, the overall doll provides a certain comfort, a focus point needed for that kind of therapeutic interaction.
Huh. Interesting.
And also, kids seem to like them just fine. Young children who aren't looking for high-dollar quality or perfect realism, they just see a baby doll.
So the good reviews are coming from people who maybe knew what they were getting into. The budget collectors accepting limitations, as one source put it.
That seems to be a big part of it. They understood they weren't buying a $200-plus piece from a dedicated reborn artist. They were buying a $50, $90 doll.
So the verdict is, Terabithia delivers a budget, vital doll, cloth body, the whole thing. But only if you can completely ignore the marketing photos and accept the flaws are part of the deal.
That sums it up pretty well. The product itself has a use, but the marketing creates a totally different expectation. It's useful, just not what was promised visually.
Okay, so this gives you, our listeners, some really clear advice if you're navigating this budget end of the market.
Absolutely. Rule number 1, never, ever trust those glossy listing photos alone, especially in this category.
What should people look for instead?
You need to actively search for customer photos, or even better, unboxing videos on YouTube or elsewhere. Get a real look. And critically, read the one-star reviews.
Ah, the worst case scenario filter.
Exactly. They tell you what could go wrong, what the absolute floor is for quality before you spend your money.
Right. So here's something for you to think about after this. Given that low price and knowing all these flaws, does the actual functional value, say, for therapy or just kids' play, does that benefit outweigh the ethical concerns about the really misleading marketing used to sell it?
Yeah, it forces you to ask what value or quality even means for a product like this. Is it the materials, the look, or just? Does it do the job someone needs it for despite everything else?
Something to definitely mull over.